Alright, take 3 of this video. Just can't get this damn fucking video up. Anyway, what's up everybody? Peter Gilmore here on this very late Tuesday night. Back here again with another video right here on Killer of Demons 669. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video. Hit the subscribe button down below. And subscribe to all my other channels, which are down below in the description box. Friend me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Whoops, I gotta go this way. Follow me on Twitter. Share this video all over the internet. And that's it. Alright, on this late, very late Tuesday night, it is time for your Monday Night Raw review. Well, your late and out-of-date Monday Night Raw review for March the 2nd, 2020 from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The go-home show before this Sunday's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And it was a pretty decent show. It's also with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. They could come out, say the WrestleMania main event is a sham. The WWE wants to sell us on Drew McIntyre. Paul Heyman calls him a hyped up fraud. And they said the only reason that Drew won was because of Ricochet hitting him in the balls. After Brock eliminated 15 people, Ricochet hits him in the balls, and then Drew Claymore kicks him out of the match. But they have no excuses for that. But when Brock gets his hands on Drew, it's gonna be. I'll go this way. Sorry. Drew's gonna get his butt kicked, and we'll see what happens with that. And Paul Heyman then calls him a big body bitch, or big boy bitch, something like that. And then Drew comes out, and he has a stand with Brock. Brock laughs at him, and he goes to leave, but then he turns around, goes to attack him, and Drew hits the Claymore kick, and knocks him out, and looked to be all done with the segment. But then when Brock leaves and goes up the ramp, Drew comes out, hits not one but 2 Claymore kicks, knocking Brock out. Then he picks up the WWE title, holds it over his head, and that ends the segment. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. So Drew hits he doesn't fire the first shot because Brock did that when Drew won the Royal Rumble. But I guess you say Drew gets his measure of revenge, and we'll see what happens next week on the program from Washington, D.C. And that's all I got to say about that. And we move on. Alright, then we go to our first match for the Raw Tag Team titles. The Street Profits defeat Murphy and Seth to win the titles, thanks to Kevin Owens as he comes in after the AOP try to come in. The referee kicked them out. Then they argue on the apron. And Dawkins pouts Murphy, knocking him out of the ring. And then KO hit the stunner. And then Montez Ford hits the frog splash. 1, 2, 3. We got new tag team champions in the Street Profits. They pick up the win in basically a do or die match. If they would have lost, they would never get a tag team title shot again. And against Murphy and Seth, but they won the match, and that was that. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So to get the win, match gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. So congratulations to the Street Profits, but can they hold it at the Elimination Chamber? As after the match, Seth Rollins cuts a promo with Charlie Caruso, and basically says they'll win the titles back at the Elimination Chamber. So, no chance to celebrate for the Street Profits. So they got to get ready for their rematch at the Elimination Chamber, which I think they'll win. But we'll see what happens with that. And then Seth Rollins says, as for Kevin Owens, he can name the time, the place, and the stipulation, and he'll get crucified. So that's leading towards their WrestleMania match. Probably be a street fight or a no-holds-barred match, or some weird stipulation. But we'll see what happens with that. I think it's gonna be a street fight, but we'll see what happens with that, and we move on from there. And that's that. Alright, then we get to match number 2. Riddick Moss defeated Ricochet to retain his 24/7 title. Match was kind of corny. Give the match 2.25 out of 5 stars. Riddick Moss wins with a neckbreaker variation. And they're just burying Ricochet. They have no faith in him anymore. They're just going to job him out. And eventually, I think they're going to release this guy. He's garbage right now. He is total fucking garbage. They're punishing him. I don't know what they're punishing him for. Maybe he swears a lot. I don't know. I don't know what they're punishing him for. But he must have did something bad. And Vince, is burying him right now. He made him lose in 90 seconds to Brock at Super Showdown, and he loses to a jobber in Riddick Moss. Go figure. So, that was that. And that's all I gotta say about that. Then we move on. Alright, match number 3 was supposed to be Aleister Black and... before that, AJ Styles comes out and cuts a promo about The Undertaker beating him up at Super Showdown. And he says that Mark Wahlberg gave him advice, told him to walk away, but he says he's not going to take that advice. He's on a collision course with The Undertaker, and he warns Taker that he took his spotlight. So we'll see what happens with that. So a little bit of a tease towards AJ and Taker, which is going to be made official in a couple weeks, but we'll see what happens with that. And then he talks about Aleister Black, says that he forgot to read the contract, so before he faces him, he's going to face Carl Anderson. So we get to the match, and Aleister hits the Black Mass on Carl Anderson, picks up the victory. So he's about to face AJ, but AJ says, now you're going to get past Luke Gallows. Get to that match. Luke Gallows was beating him up in the corner. Referee tried to stop him, but he kept beating up Aleister Black in the corner, and referee John Cone had to disqualify him. So Aleister Black picks up the victory in that match. And then they attack him. They hit the Magic Killer, laying him out. And then AJ picks up the pieces, gets to their match, and he hits the Phenomenal Forearm to win. So Aleister Black picks up his first loss on the main roster and on Raw. So his little undefeated streak on Raw is over. But he had a pretty good showing. Those epic matches with Buddy Murphy. That was great. Pretty good match with Cesaro. And we'll see what happens with him later on. And that's all I gotta say about that. And so I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. After that, we get a Ruby Riott promo. We see clips of her attacking Liv Morgan when she on her return, and then Liv Morgan beating up Liv Morgan beating up Ruby Riott during the contract signing, and Sarah Logan had to pull them apart. Ruby says that people have to prove their loyalty, and says she's responsible for her own actions. And then she says that she'll show her abilities in the chamber. And nobody is safe. So we'll see what happens with that. So I gave that 2 out of 5 stars. And that leads us into match number 4. Liv Morgan defeated Ruby Riott via a schoolgirl and a fast count by Sarah Logan. Match I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Was what it was. Ruby and Sarah argue after the match. Liv Morgan comes in with a kick, lays out Ruby, and then Sarah Logan kicks Liv right in the mush and lays her out. So Sarah Logan stands tall. And we'll see what happens with the former Riot Squad members as they go into the Women's Elimination Chamber match with Natalya, Asuka, and Shayna Baszler. So we'll see what happens with that, and we move on from there. Alright, after that, we get clips of Edge getting beat up by Randy Orton about a month or so ago. And Beth Phoenix is going to give a medical update on him later on. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we get to No Way Jose and his conga line. They come up to Eric Rowan, who's playing with his cage. And then No Way Jose asks if he can see what's in the cage, Rowan's like, okay, so I respect you. You asked nicely, so I'm going to show you what's in the cage. So he opens the cage and he pulls out a toy tarantula. Really? Really? He did. A toy tarantula. Or a fake tarantula. Stupid. All this time, we all thought, we were thinking what was in the cage. We gave our own assumptions what might be in the cage. A scorpion, a skunk, an aardvark, I don't know. Some type of scary animal. But, he picks up a toy tarantula, people. Really. This just fucking sucks. So I gave that 2 out of 5 stars. Didn't give 2 shits about it. Waste of our time for over a month. Waste of our fucking time. And that's that. Maybe move on from there. Then we get clips showing of what happened with Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. I don't need to tell you what happened. If you missed it, go rewatch Raw. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright, then we get to match number 5. Shayna Baszler in her debut match on Raw defeats Kairi Sane via the Kirifuda Clutch. Pretty decent match. It was back and forth. Asuka tried to get involved, but Shayna stopped her, and Asuka was holding her wrist because she hurt her wrist at a house show, supposedly. So she picks up the victory in her first win on Raw. And then Becky Lynch, who was on commentary, she gets up and they have a little argument. And we get that, so that's kind of leading towards Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania, which is most likely going to happen after Shayna wins the Elimination Chamber. And then we'll get a couple weeks worth of hype for their match. Maybe some beatdowns, maybe some fights, pull aparts, who knows. Maybe a contract signing. You know how contract signings go. But we'll see what happens with that. And that's pretty much it. So I gave the match 2.25 out of 5 stars. And that was that. What was it for that? Then we get Humberto Carrillo and Rey Mysterio cutting a promo. They're going to face Andrade and Angel Garza in a tag match. But Rey cuts a promo saying it's personal between them. All of them. And he praises Humberto a little bit. Humberto talks in Spanish that we can't understand. And then Rey says that this thing is going to end how they want it to end. Which we don't know how it's going to end. But we'll see what happens with that. And we move on from there. And that's that. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get to the tag match. Match was pretty good. Rey Mysterio and Humberto pick up the victory after Rey hits a double 619, and then Humberto hits the flying moonsault on Andrade. He gets the win, and that was it for that. So we'll probably see them come up at WrestleMania Fatal 4 for the United States title. And I think Angel Garza will pick up the victory and win the United States title. Because I really don't want to see Humberto win the belt. He doesn't look good with the belt at all. Rey winning it for the 3rd time, I don't think it's going to happen. Because Rey's going to be leaving WWE, maybe going to AEW, or maybe re-signing. Who knows what's going to happen with Rey. I guess they're not going to do the Dominic angle, which sucks. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So, pretty good match. 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Then we get to the end of the night with Beth Phoenix. She's about to give her an update on Edge. But then Randy Orton comes out. He tries to hug Beth. Tries to shake her hand, but Beth doesn't want it. Calls Randy a son of a bitch for what he did. And she says she sees a wife and a mother. And her kids need her father. Their father, I should say. She tries to maybe be a possibility that they can reconcile. Randy gets on the mic and says that Edge won't ever wrestle again after what he did. And he owes Beth an explanation. So he talks about meeting Edge in St. Louis in 1999 when he was just coming into the business. And his father, Cowboy Bob Orton, introduced him to Edge. And this is my boy, blah, blah, blah. And Edge said, good luck, and maybe down the road we'll cross paths. And then eventually later when Randy got into WWE, and was with, I believe, with was in later on when he got on the main roster. Him and Edge would main event for the IC title around the world, and then later on after that they would start Rated RKO, win the tag belts, and then after they imploded, basically, Randy got involved with drugs, and he was in a dark place, and Edge had to basically save his life. So he was thankful for that. He talks about Edge's return at the Royal Rumble, and Edge thought that after the Royal Rumble, the next night, that he would come back and wrestle and start wrestling again. But Randy thought better of that. He says Edge can now be a father to his kids, and he did what he did because he loves Edge and he loves his kids. And but what he says that people think it's his fault for what happened, but in reality it's Beth Phoenix's fault. He calls her an enabler and calls Edge a junkie, and Beth couldn't stop it. Well, from what Edge coming back, I guess. He had to step in, and that's what he did. He says he loves her kids, Lyric and Ruby, more than she could. And then Beth starts crying, and then Randy's like, the truth hurts, doesn't it? And then Beth continues to cry. Then she looks at Randy, slaps him in the face. Randy gets pissed, throws down the mic. And then they have a stare down, and Randy calls her a bitch. Beth kicks him in the stomach, but Randy no-sells it. Boom! RKO to Beth Phoenix to end the show. I loved it. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Beth Phoenix got what she rightfully deserved. Because she does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. She deserves an ass kicking, and that's what she got. She got her ass handed to her by Randy Orton with an RKO. Or Gilmore Cutter, whatever you want to call it. So that was that. So Randy Orton continues to be the most hated man in WWE right now. He RKO's Beth. We probably won't see Beth on NXT this week. Maybe you will see her next week. And maybe we'll get a medical update on Beth on Wednesday night, tomorrow night on NXT. We'll see what happens. And then we'll see what happens on Monday Night Raw, the aftermath of the Elimination Chamber. See what happens with this whole saga of Randy Orton, Edge, Beth Phoenix. Does Christian get involved? I think he will, and he'll get his ass handed to him too. And then Edge comes back and beats up Randy Orton, and then he's like, "I'll see you at WrestleMania," and then I'll probably announce that maybe they'll have a street fight, or some type of stipulation match, and that's probably it for that, and we move on from there. So that's it for Raw. Thank you for watching. I gave Raw 6.25 out of 10 stars. It was a pretty decent show as a go-home show. It was pretty decent for what it was. And we'll see what happens this Friday night on SmackDown as they deliver their go-home show before Elimination Chamber. We have Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse talking about John Cena. Heavy Machinery in action, so they'll kind of hype up the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match. It should be pretty good. I think the Miz and Morrison will win that, though, but you never know. We'll see what happens. And that's pretty much it. So really not much hype for the Elimination Chamber. I don't even know why they even have the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view right after Super Showdown. I don't even know why they even had the damn pay-per-view. It should go right straight to WrestleMania. But this is WWE we're talking about. They do everything wrong. And I'm not really caring for the Elimination Chamber this weekend. I really don't care. I'll be at work anyway, so I'm not gonna even bother watching it until I come home. I might skim through the replay. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. And that's it for my Raw review. Thank you for watching. Once again, 6.25 out of 10 stars for the show. It was pretty decent. And we'll see what happens on Friday night with SmackDown. And it should be a decent show on Friday. And not really, like I said, I'm not really looking forward to the pay-per-view, but it's not gonna top AEW Revolution, that's for sure, or top Super Showdown, which wasn't even that good either. So it's not probably gonna be a boring as fuck show. You're always gonna give two shits about it, and that's all I gotta say about that. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with my AEW review, and that's all I gotta say about that. So thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace, bitches.